Hello friends. I have exactly 0 excuses why it's been 3 months since I did a video, other than I haven't been stitching as much as I would hope, and there wouldn't have been very much to talk about. Also, sometime in there, started a new job, went to England, finished a semester of school, and I've been working some more on the remodeling of the house. So I've been a little busy. Oh, and I got my garden in. Oh, yeah. So I've been a little busy. Still no excuse for me to not sit down and spend 30, 45 minutes with my friends near and far. And I don't have a ton to talk about. So this should hopefully it'll be short, because I've got about 25 minutes before I have to be back at work. So, what have I been doing for the last 3 months? Well, I have 3 finishes for you. 2 knitting and 1 stitching. So we'll start with the knitting, because they're not really what everyone's here for, so we'll get them out of the way. And this one shouldn't be a surprise, because I was so close to finishing it at my last video, but I finished my Easy Goes It shawl. And this is in the colorway Glaciers from Sock Obsession Yarn. And I obviously still need to weave the ends in and need to block it, but it's done. My nephews said I looked like a movie star when I did that, so I just had to do it again and mess my hair up. So that one is done. Yay! The other one I finished. I had started a long time ago, because I stopped working on that to work on this. And I don't know if I ever even talked about it on a Flosstube, but my sister-in-law asked me to make her a snood like the one that I had. The pattern is the Full of Woe snood from Forbidden Fiber Company. And she wanted it so that when they go to U of M football games in the fall, she can wear it. So she wanted it maize and blue. So I finished that. And then I was so excited that I gave it to her like immediately the following weekend. And so I don't have it here to show you, but I'll put a picture of it up somewhere in this nebulous area on either side of my head. But she screamed when she got it. So, and it was a good scream, not a, oh my God, you expect me to wear that? No, it was a good scream. So it was totally worth it, and it was fun to stitch. I didn't particularly care for the colorway. That is not a statement about any of the schools. It's not a statement about U of M, but I just didn't like the way it looked. I don't know. I didn't like the way it looked. I don't have to give any more reason than that. I just didn't like it. And then the last finish that I had also shouldn't be a surprise, because I was on the verge of finishing it on my last video as well. And that was my Saxony Santa from Mill Hill. This is the one that Rogue Mama Stitcher so generously gave me, and then I promptly lost it in the moving shuffle. But I found it again, and I have now finished it, except I haven't cut it out and FFO'd it yet. But here he is in all his fully beaded glory. And I love it. It's in person, it's so shiny. I just love it. And this one, the dogs are not getting a hold of. No, not getting a hold of it. They are napping, thankfully. But it's done. So, what have I been doing since? Well, I have a new knitting project. I do not remember the name of the pattern, and I don't think it matters yet, because I haven't done anything other than the ribbing. And I really shouldn't have worn a plum-colored shirt to show you a plum-colored knitting, but here it is. I'm almost done with the ribbing portion of the hat, and then I'll start into the pattern. And then at some point, then I will have to look up the pattern again, and I'll be able to tell you the name. I'm making this with Ella Rae Cozy Alpaca. It does not have a color name, but the color is 65. And I'm making that for a friend at my old job. So let's talk about stitching, because that's what you're here for. I didn't get nearly as much done as I wanted to. In the grand scheme of things, stitching fell below all the hassle and exhaustion of starting a new job, finishing my semester at school, working on the house. There was something else I said I did besides planting the garden and Stardew Valley. So anyway, I worked on 3 projects in the last 3 months. I have a lot of progress, not nearly as much as I should, but I do have a lot of progress. The first one is a new start. If you remember the last time I did a video, I talked about how I was not going to be at this time finishing the Haid cell, the Rainbow Dragon cell, because it just wasn't speaking to me. So I started a new full coverage to replace that, and that is the Chromatic Dragon. And I think it's from Thread Geeks, or maybe Pain Free Crafts. I know it just showed up somewhere on the screen. And that's what it looks like also, is right there. And I've only gotten about 600 stitches in on this one, and they are all in black. I took this one to England with me, but the lighting in the Airbnb was so poor that I didn't feel like I could stitch on the 25 count Lugana, because my eyes are not that good anymore. So there's where I'm at right now. Teeny tiny bit done. It's about 600, 700 stitches. And then I haven't really worked on it since I got home. Obviously, it's not in a Q-snap. The next one I worked on is, just a second, because I don't have the picture for it. I'll be right back. Okay, back. I'd say I'll get the hang of this and get back into making my Flosstube a smooth, well-oiled machine. But if you think this Flosstube was ever a smooth, well-oiled machine and not an absolute train wreck driven by raving squirrels, then this is your first time here. Hi and welcome. So anyway, my whip. I've been working on Ink Circles Fairy Ring Around the Rosy. And this one is being done on 16 count pearl by Mystic Fabrics with the called for silk, which is Trinoy Silk's Mystic Fairy. And the last time I showed this to you would have been on a whip parade, because I haven't touched it in well over a year. So hopefully I dug out a picture and it looks somewhat like that. I think I know what side I'm gonna put it on, and then when I actually do it, it goes on the opposite side. So it's it's somewhere, right? Somewhere. And I got a lot of work done on this one, about 1,000 stitches. So here's where it's at right now. And I have a problem with this one. The problem that I have is it's symmetrical. And when I started working on it this time, I started stitching in a different direction than I had been. So these first two, if you look, the stripes are vertical because I was working my way across when it was like this. So I might have to pull these two out. Might have to frog them, because the stitches are going in a different direction. So the top thread is going in a different direction. But even if it didn't, I think once this whole thing gets done, it's going to be very obvious that those two are going in the opposite direction, just because of the way that the color is flowing. So I'm going to keep working on it, and then when I get close, we'll be able to see if it is as bad as I think it is. But there's where I'm at right now. And this one's probably going to stay out to work on, because it turns out I really like working on this one. So there we go. And then the bulk of the time I've been working on the same one I've been working on all along, and that is Autumn Lane Stitchery's The Witch's Spell. This one is done on 16 count Atlantis by Stitch Me. Trivia, it was my very first ever fabric of the month of any type, was this piece of 16 count Atlantis from Stitch Me. And the last time I showed it to you, I had just finished a page and I barely started the third page. And so it looked something like this. And now I am on the verge of finishing that page that I had just started. So here's where I'm at right now. So you'll see, to finish this page, all I have to do is finish filling in this green and extending the tree down to the bottom of the page. And then this page will be done. This is going to get finished this year. That is my goal. Above everything else, the one thing I want to do is get this finished this year. So it is going to stay out no matter what else I work on. And I'm trying to think of ways that I can switch up the other things I'm working on while still making progress on things, rather than having 50 whips that have like maybe a quarter done or less. Start having some things that have some substantial amounts completed and still get some new starts in, because I have more patterns than I can ever possibly stitch in the rest of my natural life, and probably 2 artificial lifetimes beyond that. So I've got to figure out ways to get more stitching time in, or else I've just got to suddenly get faster, lightning fingers. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on. My plans, I basically just told you I don't have plans. I fly by the seat of my pants all the time, and then sometimes I lose my pants. So no one ever knows what's going on. The only thing I can tell you for sure is I'm going to keep working on the Witch's Spell for at least the time being, given that, i.e. today. I will probably do some more work on Fairy Ring Around the Rosy. And other than that, your guess is as good as mine. We'll see. So before I go ahead and move on to haul, I have a little bit of I have a lot of stitchy kindness because I have some amazingly kind friends. Well, as I said, I went to the UK. I met up with Crafty Rogue Gamer, Stitchy Cat Lady, Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole, and Mad Morty and the Brom. And we had a great time at our little Airbnb in Wales. We went to 2 stitching shops, Create Nostalgia and the Nimble Thimble. And I spent a lot of money. I think I spent more money on stitching stuff than I did on anything else that I bought while I was there. So that tells you something about my priorities. But I will show that later, because I have 3 months worth of haul, 3+ months worth of haul, because I'd forgotten a few things on my last Flosstube. So, and I'm not getting a lot of stitching done now, so I don't think I can do my every 2-week goal that I want to meet. So I think my plan now is once a month I'll do a Flosstube, and then at the 2-week mark in between, I'll do a Flosstube extra. So whether that's a Stitch With Me or this first one's going to be a Haulapalooza. So I'm going to save all of my haul and do a Haulapalooza. And then I'll do a regular Flosstube. And then the one after that, I'm hoping, would be the craft room tour. I finally got the box spring out of there. I finally got help getting the box spring out of there, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get the headboard out on my own, which means that the room will be open for me to put together the rest of the furniture and start stocking and putting everything away. So I'm hoping that that's going to be my next one. If not, I'll pull everything out and do a whip parade. That might actually be the better choice anyway, because that'll be right at halfway through the year. Anyway, yeah, I don't need to think out loud. Okay. Stitchy kindness. Anyway, so while I was in the UK, my dear friends positively showered me with stitchy kindness. Well, they showered me with all kinds of kindness. I don't think I've ever eaten so much food in a 4-day period in my life. They kept going, you need to try this and you need to try this and you need to try this. So I have a full exposure to traditional British foods now from all the different areas that my friends are from. So I had Welsh cakes, I had Cornish fairings, I had egg custards and sausage rolls and Chester cheeses, and oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Didn't want to come back. But they also gave me so much stitchy kindness. Joe had actually picked this up at an RSPCA fundraiser sale. She saw it and thought of me. She actually sent me a text and she's like, look what I found at the RSPCA sale. And I was like, oh, that's cute. And she hands it to me and she goes, you didn't think I'd show it to you and not actually buy it for you, did you? So I have the DMC Kit Two's Company from Joe. Georgie, I made the mistake of, we were both admiring something and I made the mistake of saying, oh, you're looking at that? I love that too. And then she bought it for me. Of course, she didn't do it right then. She bought it, took it back, and then handed it to me right before she left. So it's the Celtic Wales Red Dragon sampler for our time in Wales. And I'm really excited to get stitching on it. Jen, lovely Jen, made me a project bag, and then inside it's got a little needle book and an Ort catcher to match it. Joe also, not just the flamingo kit, Joe also made me a needle book. Joe's been doing some slow stitching, and so she made me a needle book, and I've got to be smarter, and it even has my name on it. So, isn't that cool? And then Morty, oh, and then Jen also gave me, all right, I can't remember which one's which. This is Jen's. I'm not going to show this completely to you. Oh, I guess I can because this isn't the chart. She actually made a cover sheet. She made us all a custom pattern for Coven the Gathering. That's what we called our little get-together. I have such talented friends. And then Morty. Morty gave me this beautiful card. Flamingorgeous. And Morty and the Brom had custom tote bags made for us with our new logo, Coven the Gathering. And they fill up with goodies. I've eaten all the edible goodies. They were my snacks in my hotel room in London. But I got some flamingo measuring cups and some tongs to pick up your stitchy snacks so you don't get your fingers all dirty. They brought, if you don't watch Mad Morty and the Brom, which why aren't you? They brought Nevia and Nube with them, so I got my doggy snuggles. If you were worried about how I was going to do away from my dogs, I still got my doggy snuggles. It wasn't the same, but they brought Nevia and Nube, so they also gave us all lint rollers because I am still finding white dog hair all over everything. And then a needle minder and a zipper scissor fob with the Coven the Gathering logo on them. Beyond fun. I feel like there's something else, and I just remembered, like, oh yeah, I need to show that. I also got various flosses, and there's something else, and I can't remember right now. I know it's sitting over on my table. Oh well. Let's just say it was overly generous. It was all overly generous, and I had a great time. So that is the Stitchy Kindness. And then the only other thing that I want to show, just because it's brand new and I want to get it out before it's like, oh, if I wait 2 more weeks, everybody's going to be like, oh, I've already seen this. And that is the unboxing of the Black Needle Society's latest box. That is the restricted section. So the theme is banned books. And I am going to attach that right here. Well, here we go. Another Black Needle Society box. This one's the restricted section. Hopefully I'll get this video out before the next box comes out, since this is the second of 2 unboxings that I've recorded since my last video. And it's funny because I'm trying to save money, so I keep saying, I'm gonna drop my Black Needle Society subscription. Just not because I don't like it, I love it, but I've got so much stuff from the boxes and I don't have places to put it. But then they keep coming out with awesome themes, like the restricted section, banned books. So let's see what we've got in here. Yeah, and see, that's why I said I was gonna stop, and then the next one, the September one is going to be Gothic Romance. So yeah, I guess I'm stuck for a little while longer. So what have I gotten here? We have a tumbler. Where is it on the list? A banned bookshelf travel cup. And it's got all kinds of books on it that have been banned in the past, like The Lord of the Rings and Neverwhere and The Handmaid's Tale, and This Book is Gay and George Orwell and The Hate You Give and Fahrenheit 451. So that's cool. Work in Progress library card pad. So you can document your stickers on an old school library card. Do they even have these in books anymore? I haven't seen them at the last couple libraries I've been at. Earl Grey tea from Agatha Christie. Haha. Love me some puns. Oh, that's actually, I guess that's part of the Controversial Authors Tea Trio. So Agatha Christie, William Shakespeare, and Mark Twain all have multiple banned and challenged works between the 3 of them. Sip on some tea while you read the tea in their books. So there's 2 more teas in here. Mark Twain, oh my gosh, I can't say this. Mark Twain Quillity, chamomile and fruit. Ooh, yum. And Shakespeare mint. I can say that. Mint tea. Woohoo, gotta love it when I get tea. Solid wood bookmark, Jane Eyre. Which is good because I'm always running out of bookmarks. Shakespearean insult zipper bag. So cool. That'll be fun to carry around. Needle minder. Come out, wherever you are. I'm with the band. Oh, there we go. There's the straw for the cup. A pair of cool scissors. Flosses by Live and Die in LA. Or Live and Die LA. This is By Any Other Name. Lovely rose. And Fortune's Fool. The Romeo and Juliet thread duo. And last but not least is the pattern. Woohoo! This is by Heartstring Samplery. I don't think I have any of her patterns. And it's an ode to libraries. The very existence of libraries affords the best evidence that we may yet have hope for the future of humanity. Cool, 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 cool. Another great box. And right after I say I get a bunch of stuff in the boxes that I end up never using and it sits in I will use all of these things. I will. So, even better. So, there's that, and hopefully this will get out sooner rather than later. Okay, so that's all I have for you right now. I can't do life updates and reading, watching, listening to because I have to be back at work in 1 minute. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Maybe I will try to do a life update, like small thing upcoming. Anyway, stop babbling. Get done so you can go back to work, Carrie. Okay, so I'm going to get going until I see you again, hopefully in 2 weeks, maybe a little more, maybe less. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye.